I'm DJ Psyched, and you're watching the Get Psyched YouTube channel. Let's get psyched about YouTube. This is the Get Psyched Podcast, and that intro you just heard was made by today's guest, PME. PME is a good friend of mine, and that is his producer name. His name is Jonathan, and he was the first guest I actually ever had on this DIY series back in February. And now you're going to be the first guest on my YouTube channel. So thanks for being here. How are you doing today?
I am great. It is a pleasure to be back once again. Honestly, I love doing these podcasts with people. So I was happy when you asked me to come back.
Heck yeah, I'm so excited to see what you have to say today. But for anyone who hasn't listened to that podcast, or because it's been a while, I'm just going to say back in February, we talked about what it's like being an independent artist and an independent producer in your case, your thoughts on what it means to make it, how not important school is sometimes, and the importance of support. That was a big one we talked about. And we ended it off where you talked about how your goal and your mission right now is to work on the business side of everything you do, because you said that the beats come naturally to you, you love what you do with that, but it is a lot of work to do the business aspect of everything. So I'm going to start off really vague and just give you room to say whatever you want. What have you learned, what have you done since the last time you were on this podcast?
Okay. Well, so far, I've been very consistent with just dropping beats like for sale, not the ones specifically for like streaming services and stuff like that, but more the ones for sale. And honestly, it's gonna take me a while to really get into it because it's like again, I'm not really known by anybody. So, at least by rappers and all that type of stuff. I have a couple friends that are like, oh, send me this and send me that. But like actual business transactions, I ain't got none. So it's gonna be a slow journey for the most part, but all I've really done so far really is just like drop consistently and just kind of waited.
Yeah. And I've also noticed you post a lot more consistently too.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that more often because I realized like it was a while ago. I was watching like a video and he was talking about like having your Instagram, and he said something around the lines of don't let it be like specifically just beats, like show a human aspect to it so you're not just a robot. And I'm like, yeah, I do need to start like actually posting stuff and like, showing my actual life aside from, just the music, even though I don't do anything. I can come up with something.
Yeah, definitely. Has anything changed in like your creative process or how you do things?
um I don't well, yes, because now I have more that I have to make actually, because I have to make videos now since I do have my YouTube channel. I have to make the videos. I have to make the Instagram videos. I have to, you know, get the pictures for my beats and stuff like that. So it's a lot extra stuff that I have to do. And actually I'm being like very organized, surprisingly, because I have a little notebook and I'm just like, okay, I write down all the dates I'm gonna drop something, and then I write whatever song, I write the picture I'm gonna use. I try and make everything and get everything done a month ahead of time. So sometime during this month, I'm gonna get all of August done. And hopefully actually I might jump ahead and do another month too, just so I won't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing that's kind of, it's added on to the work if anything, but it doesn't bother me, so
Hey, that's really good. I didn't know you were like a month ahead of schedule.
yeah, always a month ahead.
Is that something you do for a particular reason?
Just so I won't be slacking, because I know myself well enough to know, and I work, so like most of the time, because I drop, okay, for now, starting this month, I'm dropping Wednesdays and Saturdays at 2 o'clock. Most of the time at 2 o'clock I'm at work. So
Yeah.
if I get it all done ahead of time and like schedule it, like, okay, the YouTube video will drop at the same time that it drops on BeatStars, then I won't even have to really be like, I won't have to click the button and have it post it myself. It'll just post automatically, and all I gotta really do is promote it and tell people to go look at it. So
Mm. So a question I had for you, because I see that you post on a good few platforms, but I notice you use some more than others. How did you
hmm
choose which platforms to prioritize?
honestly, I just go based on what I use on a daily basis. Like I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, and that's kind of it. I have a Facebook too, but I can use this for a good example too. I rarely use Facebook, like rarely go on there, and a lot of family and friends and stuff is on there. So I don't post on there like at all. Like I may look through, I might look through it, and like see what everyone's up to, and look at funny stuff. But besides that, I never use Facebook. Twitter, I post on there because I have a lot of my friends that are like not in Fayetteville or in North Carolina, that are near me. I don't have a lot of those on Twitter. So I post my stuff on there. But I use Instagram all the time. I'm literally scrolling through Instagram basically every single day. And I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Like I'm always on Instagram. So that's the one that I kind of prioritize. I want to start using Twitter more, like to get my stuff out, because I know a lot of artists and a lot of other people use Twitter a lot. So like, not saying I'm going to where the people are, but I mean I'm kind of going to where the people are.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Like I tried to figure that out too when I was posting stuff. I mean, like I don't personally use Facebook, and I know a lot of people, I guess, I don't know. I know a lot of people our age don't really lean towards Facebook, so it seems like a waste of time sometimes.
Yeah, like same thing with Snapchat. I'm never on Snapchat, so I don't post anything on Snapchat. I'm not gonna go out of my way to post something over there when basically no one of, I guess, importance, at least to the business side of it, is gonna
Yeah.
see it. Like I want my friends to see it and stuff like that, because it's my friends and I want them to see what I'm making. But it's not like Bryson Tiller or something like that is gonna be scrolling through Snapchat and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna use that." Like no.
Yeah. I only like Snapchat because of the feature where you can swipe up like
hmm
links. I think
Oh
that's really
yeah,
helpful.
that's very helpful. And I figured out how to get it on Instagram, but the only problem is I have to get to like 1,000 subscribers to get it. I mean followers to get it. So it's like like really slow uphill battle to get that
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wanted to get that feature on Instagram so bad. And then I found that out too. And I was like, well,
Yeah, because
link in bio.
what I wanted to do was I wanted to have, like, when you go to my Instagram page, like how some people have like the memories on their thing. I wanted to use each one for a different platform. So I wanted to have one for YouTube, one for Spotify, one for my BeatStars. I had made the art and everything, but then I figured that out and I was like, well, I guess I gotta wait.
Well, that's smart though. That's a good idea.
I'm
You'll get there. Due time.
gonna get there. I will.
So last time that we talked, like I said, we did mention support, and I just kind of wanted to bring it up again because I think it is one of the most crucial aspects, and it goes along with like the social media uses and stuff. I mean, the reason that we post this stuff is because trying to get support from other people,
hmm
and I think that when you share a link, it's nice to have it reposted. I love when people do that; like it's really helpful. But I think sometimes people they repost or they'll look at it and they'll be like, well, that's cool, but they don't actually click on the thing. And that's where the support is lacking.
Yes.
How do you feel about like what kind of things do you try to do to encourage people to like, hey, just actually do it?
See, I hate when people do that, and I catch myself doing it too, but I try and stop myself because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to actually support them because I want people to support me. And it's funny because I feel like people don't know that we know that they're not clicking it. Like
Yeah.
we can't see the amount of views that we get compared to the amount of likes or like stuff like that. I feel like people don't know we can see it, but I don't have a way really to, combat that. Like I just got to roll with it. I mean, because if
Yeah.
they're not going to support, other people will. And I mean, when I do get to that point where they're like, "Oh, I supported you back then," like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. But I mean, yeah, I do love it though. I love when like for example, the other day when I posted the whole thing about like my YouTube channel, because I realized that I never actually made an official post about it. like I may have gained like 3 subscribers compared to the amount of people that liked it being like 50, 40. So I'm like, and I only have like 23. So I'm like, where are the rest of you? Where are you?
Yeah, this is a call to action. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
we're
a call
doing
to
right
action.
now.
You better go to all my links and follow me, subscribe, watch every single video that both of us have.
It's just such a simple thing, honestly. Like, I mean, a song is like 3 minutes. You go in, you listen to it, you find out that PME is total fire and you want to listen
Yeah.
to it more often. Like,
And honestly, you don't even have to listen to it. You can just like click the video, put it on mute, and just have it playing in the background. I don't care. It is funny too because the fact that this is going on your YouTube channel, we're probably both going to promote this, and those people that don't see this are the exact ones that we're talking about.
Exactly. If you're like watching this, then obviously this isn't about you. And so I don't really know what we're saying this for.
This
But
is for those people that see this to go to their friends and be like, stop lacking, pick up slack, you know?
yeah. No, but I love that you say that because it really be like that. Like the other day I posted something on Twitter and I think I got like 12 likes or something. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I went to my actual YouTube page and it's like
Mm-hmm.
you and one other friend I know that watch my YouTube channel, my 2 consistent likes.
See, that's how it is. It's funny too because the amount of people that like, because the amount of people that like it on Twitter and the amount of people that like it on Instagram, it's I'm not gonna say it's close to 100, but it's real close. Like maybe
Yeah.
like 80s, 70s, 60s, somewhere in there. And then I go to the YouTube video and that my highest viewed video has like maybe 63, 43. Like the last one, if I'm correct, has like 6. But and that's another thing. This is like a double-edged sword because at the end of the day, it's not really about the numbers, but it's hard not to focus on the numbers.
Exactly.
Because like we want everyone to watch it and we want people to be like, oh, his music is good. We want people to share it. We want people to see it. But you have those people that are like, oh, you're only doing it for the views. It's like, no, I'm just focused on it because no one's actually watching. Like everyone is saying, oh, I support you, but they're not fully supporting you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like that's like the whole thing about like my image, right? Like getting psyched. Like I do this because I love it. I get excited when I make these videos and when I do this. So when you put your full heart into something, you just want someone to appreciate it. That's all it is.
Exactly. Like I feel like I put a lot of work in to what I do. At least me personally. I feel like I put a lot of work in and it's just sometimes it feels like I don't get, the same amount of love back sometimes. I don't mean it as in like, other people are like, oh, you made it cool, whatever, let's move on. Like, no, I don't mean it like that. I just
Yeah.
mean as in like the people that like say, oh, I'm going to support you, or like, oh, like I'm a real close friend of yours. Like, at least those are the people that I'm expecting to do it. Honestly, I'm not expecting all of my followers to do it because I know half of them are like, oh, probably have like their timelines filled with a whole bunch of other people that they care more about. So I don't care. But if you're like my really close friend, I'm expecting you to see this.
That's such a mood. Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely like I guess that's kind of where I feel it the most. Like when it comes to random people, I'm like, sure, like you don't really have to watch everything I'm doing. Like if you're not really into it, I'm not gonna force you to like watch it. Maybe it's not
Hmm.
your thing, but if you're really gonna like call yourself a homie, then you should support this because that's what that is
Yeah.
about.
And I do understand because I did have a conversation like this with one of my friends who also makes content, but he does like he does podcasts specifically. He said that it's hard because some people just don't have the time, and I
Yeah,
can understand that 100%. So if you don't have like the time, or like you're like, oh, I'll get to it and then forget, you good, because I know you mean to do it. I mean, I know you want to do it, and know that you on the inside you want me to succeed. I'm talking to the people that are doing nothing with their life, not nothing with their lives. That sounds bad. The people that aren't really doing much and are just like sitting around watching Netflix all day. Like it's easy for you to click on the link, play it, and then just be done with it. Like it,
yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
Again, it's a double-edged sword. So it's a really weird topic conversation to have. And I feel like me saying all the stuff that I said makes me seem like really inconceited. I
No,
mean, conceited.
I definitely don't. I think there's an importance to this conversation. And the reason I brought it up is because I think that a lot of people, it is not at all intentional to not support. But like, we all are, this is just how we are, our psychology, our lives. We're all in our own heads, in our own
Yeah.
worlds. And if we don't stop to think, like, oh, well, someone I like is doing this thing and they want me to see it, like, in your head, it could go by really fast, right? You see the post, you're like, oh, yeah, I'll check that out someday. But to the person who's made it, they've spent their whole day working on it. They're excited for their friends and family to see it. And so you get to that point where you're just like, I'm putting in all this work and effort, and these people are just ignoring it. But in reality, they're like just not realizing that, like, it seems like it would register, but until you
Mm-hmm.
actually do it, it doesn't. Like, I feel like once you
Yeah.
start creating, like we talked about this last time, like if you support creators, it's probably because you know the importance of it, because you've made things yourself and you're like, okay, well, I want support. Like you said earlier, like sometimes we catch ourselves almost being guilty of this. I do this too. Like I'll see someone post something and for a second I almost scroll past, but then I'm like, I wouldn't want them to just scroll past. I'm not going to scroll past. And so I feel
Exactly.
like people just kind of need to hear it, like, hey, like just that one click and like watching and giving your feedback would mean so much to me. And I feel like some people would hear that and be like, oh, I honestly didn't really think much of it before.
Yeah, like what, like I can actually say this now. Like one of my good friends, his name, well, he goes by Jersey the rapper. He dropped a song last night, and like right when he posted it, I was like, okay, let me go to this YouTube video. Let me watch this. Because again, I wouldn't, if I dropped a YouTube video, I wouldn't want anyone else to just be like, oh, that's cool, like the post and then be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anyone notices, whenever he drops, I always post it on my story.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I genuinely enjoy it, but two, that's my friend. So obviously I want him to get bigger. I want me to get bigger. Like all my friends that like make music and make content and stuff like that, I try my hardest to, share it with, the world so that all my followers can see it as well.
Yeah, now we can take a really positive spin on this conversation, because what I want to say builds off of that, because I know who you're talking about, because I saw you posted one of their music videos recently and I went
Mhm.
and watched it because I'm like, Jonathan is telling me to watch this person. I'm going to watch it. It was a really great video. It was I don't remember what it was called, but it was the one with like there was a lot of brutality in it. It was very real. It was very like
um
emotionally deep.
I
It
can't
was a
remember
good
what the
one.
name of it is, but I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
That was a really good one. I clicked on that one. And then when you shared your other friend's YouTube page, I went to hers and subscribed and watched a
Hmm.
few videos. And I think that my point here is that like this kind of becomes a community at some point. And we like if people aren't really focused on supporting creators yet, then creators have to be focused on supporting creators first and
Hmm.
foremost.
See, and it's funny you say that too, because another story that happened, my friend that you were talking about, her name is Kendall. She, she posted on Twitter. And again, I'm rarely on Twitter, so this was very like, it had to be a very special moment for me to do this. So she posted on Twitter something about I'm almost at 100 subscribers. I'm like, bet, I'm like, bet, I got you. So I posted on my Twitter. I'm like, hey, y'all go follow my little sister. And one of my friends who again makes content, he
Yeah.
has like over 1,000 subscribers. I think he's at 5,000 right now subscribers. He posted it on his story because again, he's like one of my really good friends. Like I could basically say that he's my big brother. He posted it on his story on his Instagram, and he was like, hey, everybody go follow JB's little sister on YouTube, and she literally got to 100 that quick. Like a
Nice.
couple minutes later, she got to 100. And, she posted on Twitter, she was like, thank y'all for, getting me to 100. And he replied back. He was like, I'm proud of you. I hope that the rest of your journey is fun. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, creators are going to support creators. Even if you don't know them, even if it's something that you don't even like, you're going to support them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like creators got to start supporting creators, because that's where it all starts. That's how we
Yeah.
get the support, because we know what it's like.
Yeah. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, think about it. You could have somebody that likes the kind of stuff that I make, or I could have somebody that likes the kind of stuff that you make. So if neither of us share it, that other person isn't going to be able to get to our content, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it always makes me so happy when I like post something, because like at this point, and like I'm not like expecting the most when I post these things. I'm just posting them. I know that like people are gonna see it and they're likely just gonna scroll past it. I know that after a while, like when something first starts, people are excited about it. Like when I first started Get Psyched Podcast, a lot of people would like those posts and support that. But now that I put out so many episodes, I have so many episodes of the podcast. To them, it's just like they're just kind of like used to it. You know, it's like the mere exposure effect. They don't care
Yeah,
anymore. They know it and they understand that it's there and they're like, oh yeah, you have a podcast, it's so cool, but they don't ever click on it anymore because they're like, yeah, there'll
yeah,
be another episode next week, who cares.
yeah. See, you can't do that. That's the thing. People can't do that. You gotta watch. Like you really gotta be like if you want to support, you have to constantly be there. You gotta constantly be there helping them out. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, somebody else will. And then when they're big, you're gonna be mad because you're gonna be like, well, I supported you and you're doing this, this, and this for everybody else. It's because you just stopped. That's why.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, I kind of forgot where I was going with that, to be honest. But I did want to say, oh yeah, I do get genuinely like excited and happy when someone does like comment back to me and they're like, oh, I watched your video, I actually like, I really liked it, or I checked out this thing because you posted it, and I'm like, that's really sweet. Like I genuinely appreciate that. Like it seems like a small thing to someone to be like, yeah, I checked it out, but then to like me, I'm like, oh my god, you watched, you
Yeah,
liked.
like it's always the small things, like for real. Like on BeatStars, like nobody's. I keep saying like I'm sorry. On BeatStars, people like nobody really knows about my BeatStars. Like, well, people know about it, but they don't like go there because it's not like an avid platform that people go to. So whenever I go to my stats, and even for the whole week, if it's like 1 or 2 views, I'm happy because that means someone out there at least listened to it.
Yeah.
Like I get a random follow every once in a while over there. Same thing with Instagram. Like I'll randomly get a follower and I'm like, oh shoot. And they'll like go through, they'll like all my posts and they'll be like, hey, you're doing a good job. I like it. It just makes me happy. It's literally just the small things that I'm like, if even if it's a new person, the new people always go all out. They always are like, oh, I'm going to go to all his posts, like them, comment on one of them, and then now they're a fan. That's just it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. And I think as creators, we do have a job on this too. Cause I don't remember what it's called, but there is some like psychology thing where basically, what is it? Man, I wish I could remember what it's called right now. But basically, it's like whenever a person starts something like this, right? Like whenever
Hmm.
something has to do with quantity and number wise, a person starts off being like, okay, like I have, let's say you have 10 followers consistent. You'll always be happy when you get like 5 or 6 likes. That's a really good ratio and you're just really excited about it. But then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you start getting a few more people following you. And then all of a sudden, like you kind of get used to the numbers. Like even though like back when you had like 10 subscribers, you would have been out of your mind to have had like 50 likes or something.
Hmm.
They say like once you get to that point where you have like 100 followers, 50 likes is going to feel like nothing at some point. And so I think it's important to not fall into that trap of like ever being not grateful for every single person who supports, you know?
You said that, and I just thought about the fact that I have done that multiple times. Well, not multiple, but like I have around I don't know, like maybe 600 followers on Instagram, and like it's more of it's certain people that I'm like, oh, they're gonna like it regardless. So it doesn't really excite me, or
Yeah.
like that. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm grateful for it. It's just I'm not surprised if anything. I'm not like, oh, thank you. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say thank you every time this person likes it because it's like they like it all the time. So it's like they understand.
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
like a thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's like basically the high kind of goes away. Like your body adapts to things, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
like any other drug in the world, right? Like you have too much caffeine at first, like it gets your heart racing, but then after a while you need to up the dose to feel that rush again.
Yeah. Dang, I never thought about that. That is wow. Okay. I just learned something about myself.
Get psyched. Yeah, that's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things. I think once you recognize it, it's important to remind yourself like, yeah, I do want people to support my work, obviously, because I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like the goal of getting support isn't just because you want people to like your post or something. You want to do what you're doing for the rest of your life. So starting
Exactly.
now, like, I mean, I don't want to have to continually rely on this one job or something for the rest of my life. I want to make my art my life, just like you do, you know?
Look, You don't understand how many times I've said, I'm tired of this work mess, man. I am sick of working the 9 to 5, bro. I am sick of it. I'm just ready to be able to, actually make some money off of this. I am really ready to actually make some money off of this. That's all I'm really saying.
Exactly. And that's just kind of where it comes from, like nobody wants to like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I will never stop. I'll never stop doing it, even if I
Yeah,
don't get to make the money. But it would be nice. Like that's the dream, is to not have to rely on
exactly.
anything else.
Like not have to, wake up at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, drive through a whole building, just to work and serve other people and do whatever you're doing, and then go home and barely have time for what you want to do. I want to be able to wake up at whatever time I want to wake up and do what I want to do.
Exactly. Exactly. So back to the questions about what you've been doing lately. So
Okay.
I know you just said you just bought that mic. Is there anything else that you changed or upgraded about your setup?
Well, I just got these headphones too. I
Nice.
don't remember how much they were. The box is right here though. I'll say that much. This is the
Oh, audio.
Yes, Audio Technicas. I think is it the same ones that you have? I don't think so. No.
No, I have the
This
M50Xs, I think.
Yeah, I have M20X. Okay. Yeah, they
So,
were relatively cheap though.
yeah.
This mic was relatively cheap as well. It was like $20, and I also have my Focus right now, which kind of comes with the mic. I mean, not
Yeah.
comes with the mic, but kind of need it.
Dude,
Um,
we are matching so hard right now.
yeah. Only difference is that your cord is red. I got a black cord. But
Matching.
I need to buy some more of these, to be honest. I do. But yeah. Uh Equipment wise, that's kind of all I've bought. And to be completely honest, I rarely use them. Like I just bought it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need it eventually. And then I was like really hesitant on buying it because I was like, I don't do vocals or nothing like that yet. And I was like, well, if I don't buy it, I'll never have a chance to do vocals.
True.
So I was like, F it, and I just bought it. I mean, it was cheap though. So I mean, it wasn't like I was like putting out like $500. Like the Focusrite was like 120. The cord was like maybe 15 and the mic was 20. These were like I think 50 or 60. So
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty good. And it sounds really good
thank you.
from what
I
I can
appreciate
hear.
that.
It's a good mic.
Thank you.
Good quality value.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's cool. So something I did want to ask about too, and you kind of touched on it earlier when you said like you watched that video and realized that you kind of want to put more of your personal self into what you're doing. Have
Mm-hmm.
you, and I know like it crosses everyone's mind, I'm sure at some point, but how much has having an image ever like affected the way that you try to post or do things? Like, have you ever really thought about your image, or is it just very natural to you?
Honestly, it's just very natural. Because what I've learned about myself, at least with other people, is that regardless of the fact, I don't mean this again, I don't mean to sound conceited, but from what people have told me, I'm a generally like nice and funny person in general. So it's not like I'm going to say something out of the ordinary and be, just like mean in my actual life. And I mean, so I'm not really worried about my image. I've just been funny all in general. I mean, you can kind of tell by when I posted that one picture of me sitting on the toilet at work. Everyone was surprised. Like the amount of text messages I got that day was just astronomical. And then the second time I posted it, the people that hadn't seen it was like, "Oh my gosh, Jonathan!" I'm like, "What?" And I'm just sending poop emojis to everybody that's seen.
I like the use of the word astronomical right there.
Yes, they. Look, if anybody listening to this or watching this wants to see that picture, you come to me. I will send it to you. You know what's even funnier about that? I have two of my friends that actually sent me a picture of them on the toilet. I'm gonna start a trend. Keep playing. Look, if you're watching this, the day that this comes out, I'm gonna post my picture before I post this on my social media. If you see it, I want you to post it on your story too. Post a picture of you on the toilet on your story.
That's so funny because I actually remember after seeing your picture, I snapped you and I was like, yo, on the toilet too.
I remember that. We're gonna make this go worldwide. This is a
It's
global
trend.
phenomenon.
Make it the next like the big trend. Instead of doing like the ice bucket challenge, show a picture of yourself.
Yeah, picture yourself on the toilet. I'm here for it. It's gonna be the next TikTok trend.
Yeah, make up some random thing about how like you're doing it to boost people's confidence. Like, be confident in yourself. Post yourself
Yeah,
on the
show them tiger stripes, because I got stretch marks too. Oh Lord.
Well, so that answers the image question.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, I never really think much about it like either. Like I think that if you try and like care about your image, it's just going to come off as disgenuine and weird.
Yeah. Like, just be you. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but just be you. Whatever you think is funny, post it. Whatever you think is, something cool that other people would appreciate, post it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to have like an image, it has to be you. No one would want you to be fake online. Like, even with the people that have been fake, they've always like come out and be like, I'm going to start showing the real me. And it's always been that like real tight knit group that's like, yes, good. Be the real you. Don't be fake. Like, that's one thing. If you're getting into this and like you want to have an image and stuff, be the real you. Don't try and be like other people. Just act like you. Because that's what people want. They want you. They don't want another carbon copy of another person.
Exactly. And it's like, I don't know. It would be hard to keep up not being yourself, because like just being yourself, it makes the work easier. It makes it more fun. And like,
exactly.
you just gotta have fun with it. Like I used to, I mean, you could definitely tell a difference when you listen to like older podcast episodes of mine versus new ones. I wasn't trying to be someone I wasn't. I was just so nervous about like free-flowing conversations. Like I know how to have a conversation. Everyone does.
Yeah.
It's
just
natural.
that you were thinking too hard about it.
You think too hard about it, you plan it too much, and then it comes to this point where like you just sound really robotic and sketchy. Like,
see, and I'm gonna tell you this too, because the amount of podcasts that I've listened to and watched, I've been like when I actually went back and listened to it, I was like, oh, this sounds kind of like chopped up and weird. And I was like, I'm not gonna tell her. I was like, I'm gonna let her learn herself, because this is her first episode. This is her first time doing this. So I'm like, I'm gonna let her learn, and then she's gonna get the hang of it.
That's the fun of doing something like this, is you gotta learn. You gotta learn how to do things. And like I learned, okay, since we're talking about this, because I know this for a fact after doing that episode. That episode was super chopped up because it was over edited. Like you can definitely over edit some shit.
Yes.
That is a thing. Like like just leave in some of the leave in some of the hesitations. It's natural.
It's supposed to be a natural conversation. You chopped that thing up. You chopped it up like some onions. You did that.
You have to go back. You have to go back now if you're watching this and listen, so you can hear that.
This is the comparison.
The first few minutes are painful.
To this episode, you need to go watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The first 2 I was like, "Ooh, hey, okay." I'm not gonna say nothing. I was like, I just gotta let her do it.
It's just how it be sometimes. But yeah, like you just gotta be natural. Like obviously, there's a difference between like it's like over scripting yourself and then not preparing at all. Like I do have questions prepared right now. I'm sure you could see me looking over at them because I don't want to like blank for a minute and then we're just staring at each other.
Yeah, I get you.
I've done podcasts like that. That's just as bad.
Like I get you, because it's like that's the thing. You can come in prepared, but you can also be over prepared.
Yeah,
it's like going on a hike. Like you don't need to bring your entire kitchen with you or nothing like that. All you need is a couple snacks. You don't need to bring pots and pans and all this type of stuff with you. It's not like you got to be out there all day. So just bring a couple snacks, you'll be straight.
Yeah,
you don't need it. Like notes are fine, because at the end of the day, it's a conversation. So the topics are gonna go off into more stuff anyway, and make you even think of more questions. So
exactly, be a minimalist about it.
It's funny too, because I low-key was thinking about starting either. I'm trying to decide whether I want it to be a YouTube series or a podcast, but I have the name and everything in my head, and I'm like, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
it's a good idea, and it's honestly very similar to this podcast, I'll be honest. But yeah, I mean,
nice. I love
I might.
that.
I don't know.
I love seeing people I know start podcasts. I had someone reach out to me not too long ago, and they're like, "Yeah, I kind of want to start a podcast." They were asking questions, and then one of my other
Hmm.
friends recently, he just started a podcast. I'm like, "Come on, let's all start podcasts and
Yeah,
just support and promote each other, and let's just all be
exactly.
podcasters."
Exactly. Please, let's do it. You know what? Keep playing with me. Don't.
I'm not playing with you. I'm telling you to start a podcast. That's what I'm doing.
See, what I might do is I might have it be a YouTube series and then just have it also be a podcast. You know,
Yeah.
that might be it. That might be it.
Yeah, I was so excited. You know, you ever just have those big brain moments where you're just like, I can
Mm-hmm.
do that thing? Because I'm sure you remember. I had a YouTube a long time ago. I
Yes,
ditched
I
that
do remember.
project
I
because
do remember.
there was nothing uniform about it. It was just a random random ass videos, man. It was like there was no theme. I hardly ever spoke in the videos. I just put out like random videos.
Whatever. You just put whatever.
It was so interesting to look at now because I think we've come a long way and we understand things a lot better. Like I think both of us do a pretty good job of being like decent people who put out things that make sense. But when I
Yes.
started, man, nothing I did made sense.
Look, a lot of people don't know this, but like I used to have a YouTube channel, but it was with like one of my old emails, and like I deleted the email and stuff like that. I have no clue if the videos are still up. I don't even remember what the name of it is, but it was just like random stuff. It was just random. Like I specifically remember one video of me, my best friend Gabe, and my little brother, and we was literally just like dancing around and lip syncing to this it's a dude on YouTube. His name is Hi, I'm Ron, and he did like a Get Played series, and he did one for like Super Mario. So we were just dancing around and lip syncing to that, and it's so cringy, and I have no clue where it's at. Please, no one find this, but
This is also a call to action. Please find it and send it to
please
me.
look. If you find it, send it to me too, because I actually am very curious to see what it looks like, because I can't remember.
But yeah, like I said, like one day though, I just kind of randomly, it just occurred to me that I didn't, when I did the YouTube last time, I didn't really have a structure. I didn't have any idea of what I was doing, and I was
Mhm.
like, I mean, I have this Get Psyched thing it already exists. It's an image, it's my DJ name, it's my blogs, everything I do is under the Get Psyched image. I'm like, why don't I just make a Get Psyched YouTube?
See, I'm glad that you did that too. Again, in the whole minimalist thing, like just take everything you're doing, put it under one name. Like, there's no point in
Exactly.
being like, oh, this is, Get Psyched, and this is something else, and this is something else. Just put it
Yeah.
all under one umbrella. That's it.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like it was just a weird thing for me because I wasn't sure how to do it because Get Psyched, yes, it's technically my thing. I mean, I started it. It's my name, but it's also under my job. So I didn't know if
Mm-hmm.
I was really allowed to make it my personal image as well. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I reached out to my boss. I asked and they were very kind about it. They're like, "Yeah, of course you can." And so now it's just a thing and I think it's really cool when you finally find your thing. Like you're PME. You're PME
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. Like you if you want to find I mean, I'll link all of his socials below, of course. But if you want to find him, just go on, Spotify, Instagram, everything. You put in
Just
PME,
look
you'll
up
find him
PME.
somewhere in there.
You'll find this pretty face in there. But yeah, like that was one thing that like it wasn't hard, but it was like an easy decision for me because, for example, like for anyone that does not know, I was gonna try and keep this a secret, but I don't really care anymore. PME stands for Purple Monkey Entertainment. The whole Purple Monkey thing has literally been with me like since 2012, maybe. So like I literally just like stuck with it. And it's funny because my friend who also like we made like little like names at the same time, his has changed like throughout the years. Like it used to be this was remember 2012. His used to be Derp Dog, and then he changed it to like Usupper Games, and then he changed it now, just gave him his prime, which is basically his name. So it's like he's been changing throughout, and I've just kind of stuck with the whole Purple Monkey thing. And it's like it's gone through many iterations because I used to want to do like a game YouTube channel, so it was Gaming Purple Monkey. Then it was Purple Monkey Gaming. Then after a while, I was like, well, I like music too, and I like to do other things. So I'm like, let me just change it to Purple Monkey Entertainment. And since then, it's just kind of stuck. And like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. You know what's funny about that? I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're the one that helped me come up with the Get Psyched image thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was definitely you
Yeah.
because I mean, DJ Psyched has been my DJ name since I started DJing for WKNC. But that was just something I did because just couldn't come up with a DJ name. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, I'm a psych major. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember you telling me that you were a psych major. You were like, let's just say Get Psyched. I was like, okay, cool.
yeah. And that, like, I remember, like, when I was DJ Psyched, like, I would make, like, very cheesy puns sometimes about being psyched, but it wasn't an image or anything like that. It was just my name. And then when I decided to start this podcast, I'm pretty sure I was just texting you one day and you were like, well, you're already DJ Psyched, why not just Get Psyched? And I was like,
It wasn't a text message. I remember it was one day, like before all this happened, we were like hanging out, and it was literally just me and you.
yeah,
We were hanging out at your house, at your place or whatever, and you were sitting there. And you were like, "I'm thinking about starting a podcast. I just don't know what to call it." And then you like named off a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, "Why don't you just call it Get Psyched?" And you were like, "Why didn't I think of that?"
So basically, I owe my whole image to you.
Yes, I want payment, not play. But yeah, so I mean, it's names and stuff. It's just simple stuff. Like a lot of people overthink that. A lot of people overthink like, what should my name be? What should this be? And like, if you want to get over that, I want everyone to remember that Childish Gambino's name was made off of an internet random generator, and he went with it. So, I mean, hey.
Wait, oh my gosh, that reminds me of like when because we remember when we first came out with our first singles, which I don't really do music like that anymore, so I'm never gonna talk about where those are. But I remember when we came out with our first singles, like
it's on SoundCloud, y'all.
Like you already had your like name and image and stuff, and I was trying to come up with like a band name, which I'm never going to expose what my band name is, but
I don't even remember it, to be honest.
Well, I remember that like I was talking to you about it. I'm like, I need to come up with a band name. And we kept going back and forth. I was sending you all kinds of random stuff. And you told me that about the generator. And I was online, like looking up every generator.
I know you were.
Yeah. I mean, the name I ended up settling on, which I'm just not going to ever say on anything ever. It was just something random. Like it was just something that related to my life.
She's going to slip one of these days and she going to say it. And then everybody going to flock. It's going to be when you get like real big too, like thousands of subscribers. And you going to slip and say it one day. And then everyone's just going to expose your ass.
Look, I still love making music and I do it for myself. I still write songs, but until I can get this whole I can't sing and produce music worth shit thing, I'm gonna stop putting it out there.
It's funny because I remember one of the tracks that you put out, and you like I remember you texting me beforehand. You were like, "It's like a really experimental thing," and I was listening to it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is experimental." I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't something that I'm gonna like put in the car and be like, "Hey y'all, listen to this." I love you, by the way.
No, I take no offense that I literally wrote that for a class. Like it was an assignment to make some weird shit.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But yeah, like it just be like that. I don't even remember where this conversation started.
I don't either.
Oh, you said you were gonna start a YouTube or a podcast series.
Yeah, I might. I don't know yet.
And then we just lost track and went around.
Yeah.
But definitely.
All right.
That's it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
When you do start it, we'll come back on this podcast.
Bet. When I do start it, you'll be a guest on my podcast. How about that? See?
Bet.
There we go.
Bet. All right. Well, as far as any other questions I had, you did kind of bring this up earlier. So I just wanted to ask about it because I think it's something that a lot of people don't think about when they try and be completely independent, especially like with just something like, even if you're just doing one thing, like if you're just a YouTuber or if you just make music or whatever, when you start to get really into it and you start really pubbing your stuff and putting it on different platforms, you do realize that there's a lot that goes into it. You have to make thumbnails, you have to do editing, you have to create images for different platforms, and you have to like write bios, and you just kind of have to be really well-rounded because you're going to have to do so much. And so what have you learned about doing that? Like, is it way more than you expected? Do you feel like you've gained a lot of skills from having to do all this? Like, how is that aspect of doing the art shaped your process?
See, I laughed a little bit because when you said writing bios, and I was like, I don't do that. I'm terrible at writing bios. Like anything like describing something else, I'm terrible at. Like even with naming my tracks, but that's besides the point. I'll say that because I feel like every creative has to be like they have to be good at another thing. Like I'm good with my music, but if you need me to make a thumbnail for like Instagram or like, YouTube or something like that, I can do it because I, have that skill under my belt now. Like one of my friends, she had her birthday not too long ago, and me and one of my other friends were like, okay, let's make her a birthday card. And I was like, I could literally make her a birthday card. And so I just used it for that. I mean, I know it's something really simple and something like really stupid, but I mean, it was something, it was a skill that I gained from it. So I'm not going to say proficient at using GIMP, but I can work my way around it if a need be. Um, I'm trying to think. I think that's kind of it, to be honest. I mean, I can kind of use iMovie, kind of.
Nice.
No, I'm not, really good at it, but I can kind of use it. My videos are really simple if you've seen them. Like I
Yeah.
had one of my friends like make the little intro, and I'm actually brainstorming more ideas for intros because I'm looking at it now and I'm like, that's kind of really plain. Like it's like I want to, add a little bit more to it. So um like honestly, I just put my actual YouTube video, and I just let it fade out, and that's about it. I mean, there's nothing really complicated about it. But I mean, if you are a creative, you're gonna have to learn to use something else more than just, do the music, unless you got money out the wazoo and you're paying everybody else to do the stuff for you. But
Yeah. There's a lot to learn.
it is.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Like it took me, I think it's just when you start creating and stuff and you're not going to initially, like, you're not going to sit down. I mean, unless you want to, I mean, that would be
Mm-hmm.
cool. But most people don't just sit down one day and do all of this stuff at once. Like it's a slow process. Like it takes a while to build something.
Mm-hmm.
Like this YouTube channel, when I started it, all I had was like the little picture that you use for it. And then I just
Yeah.
made a few videos. And then I decided to make a cover art finally. And then I
See,
finally decided to get around to making an intro.
hold on. That reminds me too. My very first video, actually, I just hit my laptop. Sorry. Not my very first video, but like I could say for like BeatStars at least. Like compared to like my newest stuff to my old stuff, literally the first beat I put out, I can't remember if it was either tight or spicy. I think it was tight. And I couldn't think of anything to do. So I literally just took my phone and just like went to Urban Dictionary, grabbed the definition of tight and just put it in a white background. And that was kind of it. And then the next one was even worse because it's literally just the word spicy in a really weird font. In a really weird font. And then it has PME on it. And that's just kind of it. Yeah, it's not on my BeatStars anymore because I had to take it down because I didn't have the membership. But like I didn't start out doing what I'm doing now. Like I know now. It's like, okay, I've seen what other people do, and I can kind of replicate that in a sense, but have like my own little twist to it. So I mean, you're not going to be perfect when you start out. You're not going to be able to do everything at once. You're not going to know to do everything at once,
Yeah.
For the most part, when you start, you're just going to be like, okay, let me just slap this together and just throw it up instead of actually putting time into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and that's like the mistake I made. And this is why one piece of advice for people who are starting in something is that you really shouldn't overthink it and waste that time. Like, don't do that. Like, don't sit there and try to create this whole thing overnight before you put anything out there, because
Mm-hmm.
odds are you're going to overthink it. You're going to make something really complicated. And when you put it out there, it's honest, it's not even going to be like, it's just going to be weird. Like you can't go from 0 to 100. And you're also
Exactly.
probably not going to make something that you could have made had you given yourself the time and really learned what you were about. Like you can have a plan for yourself, but when you start doing something, it's probably going to be different than what you were imagining it was going to be.
Exactly. And even like with the overthinking thing, for anyone that does not know, most of my art for like my like songs are literally just pictures that I've taken myself. Like peanut butter, I've told the story before, if I'm correct. I literally just
Yeah.
went into Walmart, took pictures of peanut butter, and then walked right out. And then I went into Snapchat, made it, and put it on Spotify. I mean, I mean, you don't gotta overthink. Just don't overthink it. It's real simple, you know.
Yeah, like literally the other day when I went to go make my cover art, part of my overthinkingness was there. It was ready to be extra as heck and make this really extra cover art piece. And then it just dawned on me. I was like, I already have a Get Psyched image. Like, it's the image I use for my podcast. It would make more sense for my audience if that image was just everywhere. And so as soon as they look at my page, they're like, these things are connected. That's it. And so what I do, I went into Photoshop. I took the picture. I kind of blew it up a little bit. And there it is.
I see you. It's simple. You're like, don't overthink it. That's really all I can really say. Just don't overthink. Because if you overthink, again, like, shoot, Vicky can tell you.
You're going to be like me. You're going to have a really choppy podcast.
Yeah, really choppy podcast and, you know, really over-exaggerated.
But yeah, we've been talking for a hot minute now. It didn't feel like that long.
It didn't. Oh my God. Sorry. Jesus Christ. Okay.
But is there anything else you'd like to share or talk about today?
All I can say is I'm starting to post beats every Wednesday and Saturday now. So go to my YouTube channel and check that out. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. Where else? I'm on Twitch if you want to follow me there. Ooh. I might start streaming at some point. I have no idea. Let's see where the world takes me. And yeah, I didn't say where any of those were. Instagram is PME JIB. Same thing as Twitter. My YouTube, just look up PME. If you want the actual link, you can go to YouTube, youtube.com/gaming purple monkey. I have to get it to a certain amount of, subscribers to change that. So we're sticking with that for now. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, of course, all of that will be linked below. As always, it'll be linked in the YouTube and the podcast. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, that will be linked in the description as well. And if you ever want to reach out to either of us, you can reach us there. But if you are on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe.
If you ever need to talk, I'm here. You may not know me, but I'm an open person. I can help you with your life problems if need be.
He'll send you pictures of himself on the toilet.
Yeah, we can just share pictures. Look, if you want, we can just make one giant Instagram group chat and just share pictures of us sitting on the toilet. I'm here for perfect. It. We can do that. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna make that my Instagram profile. I'm not.
That needs to be like the picture for one of your next beats.
I'll do it. Hey, I was about to say, look, Amine has his, he's butt naked on the toilet for one of his album covers. So, hey, who knows? I might just come out of nowhere with the, butt naked me on the toilet pic for an album cover or something.
Next album. All right. Well, it was nice talking to you. Thanks for getting psyched with me on the podcast again.
Yeah, I got you, girl.
All right. Until next time. Peace. Oh yeah, we gotta make sure to check out his merch too. It'll be linked as well.
I ain't got no sales. Help me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.